36 years in the making, and it's finally here. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. It's time to talk about it. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Klep Napier from wearecritics.com, and today we're here to talk about, breakdown, and review ish Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. That's right. The latest sequel from director Tim Burton, 36 years in the making. We finally have gotten Michael Keaton's return as the iconic character known as Beetlejuice. Yeah, man. And before I talk about what I thought about this film, because I have, put out an initial reaction about this film online on my social media, my Facebook, and I have seen this movie two times already because I wanted to, sometimes I like to when it's something nostalgic, I like to soak it in and really understand, is it nostalgia that's making me really enjoy this film, or is this film really good? So before I talk about what I thought about this film, let's talk a little bit about what it is for those of you who do not know Beetlejuice. So 1988, this film came from director Tim Burton, who's very known for some obscure yet interesting directing in films. He did the 1989 Batman film. He did the sequel, Batman Returns. He's also known for The Corpse Bride, A Nightmare Before Christmas, Edward Scissorhands. See, you can kind of see the aesthetic and where I'm going with the things that he's done. But when Beetlejuice hit, I was a very young man, and I immediately gravitated towards this film for its weirdness, its campiness, its cartoonish type style of filmmaking. There was a lot of stop motion animation that was included in this thing. And he also directed Pee Wee's Big Adventure, which also had that kind of weird play cartoonish kind of filmmaking style. So I was familiar with the style, but yet didn't know who the director was until later on in life as I got older. So let's flash forward from 1988. We got the Beetlejuice movie. Back then, it was a fan favorite. A lot of people liked it. We don't even know why we like it. We just love it. It's one of Michael Keaton's best roles as far as character play. And then it just kind of disappeared, but it was always a fan favorite, especially around Halloween. A lot of people, just kind of are familiar with the character and love the vibe that it gives off. So then now we're in 2024. We finally got a sequel. Beetlejuice is back. The juice is loose once again, and most of the key players come back. We've got Winona Ryder, who is Lydia Deetz, the young girl in the original. We got Catherine O'Hara, who played her stepmom, and of course we have Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice, and we have a bunch of new people in this as well. Like we have Jenna Ortega, who she's a fan favorite right now. I mean, if you're doing anything gothic ish without Jenna Ortega, then what are you doing in movies, right? And then we also have Monica Bellucci is in this as well. William Dafoe is in this as well. And then there's a cool little cameo. Spoiler, I'm going to give you a spoiler. Little cool brief cameo of Danny DeVito, who has worked with Burton in the past on Batman Returns as the Penguin. So it was kind of cool to see him in this. So what did I think about Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice? In full disclosure, I may get a little spoilers with this. I try my best not to, but only towards the third act, and I will give you fair warning before I get into that stuff because I feel like it's a portion of the film that I really want to talk about. So right now, no spoilers, but I will let you know when I'm getting in that territory. So after seeing this movie two times, I really, really, really am convinced that I love this film. I love this movie for a lot of reasons, but my main reasons is the fact that when you're talking 30 something years later, when you're talking 10, maybe 7 years later from the original, it is extremely hard to match the tone and the vibe of, the original film. Burton manages to not only match the tone and vibe, but expand upon what we already know and still making it plausible and making it like, okay, this is Beetlejuice's world. This is his film. I really, really loved the vibe, the tone, from the beginning, the intro, just kind of going into the story from the very beginning, really, really brought me back. Like, it literally just took my brain and just rewound me. I was like, I'm feeling everything I felt when I watched the original. One of the awkward things about this film that kind of feels a little jarring is that there is a lot of things going on in this movie. There's a lot of plot lines and a lot of story. Now, it can be the gift and it can be the curse. There's many storylines. We've got daddy issue storylines with Jenna Ortega's character, and then we even have daddy issues going on with Winona Ryder's character, Lydia. And then we have wife storyline going on with Beetlejuice, ex-wife, I should say, and then we have a husband and wife storyline going on with Lydia. Like there's a lot, there's a lot of plots all in this film, but somehow they manage to work and they never steal away from Beetlejuice. Now, I know a lot of people may complain that Beetlejuice is not in this movie a lot. This was already put out there, so this is not a spoiler. It was also talked about in an article with Michael Keaton. He said how many minutes or something he was going to be in the film. There's a moment in this film where you may feel like, I haven't seen him in a while. But when he's there, nothing else counts. It is Beetlejuice's movie. Michael Keaton is in this role as though he never stopped playing this role, and that is the best thing about this movie. He literally carries this film when it needs to be carried. Everybody else does great. Catherine O'Hara is on point playing the character that she played in the original. Winona Ryder's a little different because she's a lot older now, so we're seeing a more jaded, seasoned, complex. She was more misunderstood before, and now she's kind of like trying to find understanding within herself in this, which works great for her character as an adult. And then, you got Jenna Ortega here, who honestly I feel as though is only in this film for the star power. Not a bad thing, but I think that role could have been given to any great young up and coming actress to play Winona Ryder's daughter. She wasn't needed to be casted in this, but it just made perfect sense marketing wise because of Wednesday, her style, her vibe, and everyone's always comparing her to like the Winona Ryders or just that gothy dry kind of personality on camera. Aubrey Plaza as well. Like they all compare her to that. So it made sense to put her in this, but was she needed to be in this? I don't think so. Monica Bellucci's character, I think that her character is only put in this movie to allow us to empathize with Beetlejuice, who's normally the antagonist. Now, this is where I'm going to get into spoiler territory. The reason I feel as though that they wanted us to empathize with Beetlejuice, because he's normally the antagonist in this film, is because they do a switch that is very reminiscent to the cartoon. And I say this in my initial reaction. If you're a fan of the Beetlejuice cartoon, which a lot of people probably don't remember, but there was a cartoon and it was really cool. In that cartoon, remember, spoiler, the cartoon is primarily Lydia and Beetlejuice as a team. They team up. Every episode, it's shenanigans between those two, with those two, and you kind of see them as like friends. They're friends. They're not enemies. They're working together. So in this movie, in the third act, which is my favorite part of this film, there is initially a very fun but brief team up between Beetlejuice and Lydia. So I really, really enjoyed that part of it because it made me smile. I was like, man, this is everything that I remember about the overall Beetlejuice franchise. We had the movie, then we had the cartoon, and it's good to see Beetlejuice and Lydia kind of like, it's still in Beetlejuice fashion. There are no surprises that, one hand has to watch the other when it comes to Beetlejuice. Otherwise, he's not on your side. But yeah, it's just a really fun film, guys and girls. I really enjoyed it. I think this is going to do very, very, very well. Just for nostalgia purposes, and the fact that, listen, Michael Keaton is knocking this out the park. Like, he is in full, he doesn't even look any different. I know it's a lot of makeup and you can't really tell his age, and the guy's 73. The guy's 73 years old, and he's still able to bring this character to life as like he was this was 1988 all over again. I really hope they do a third and kind of finish that name, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I think they will. I think they're just kind of playing it close to the vest right now, and they're, pretending that they're not going to do another one, just kind of seeing what the box office says. I think the box office is going to be very well received. The Rotten Tomato score is already well received. Like, guys and girls, this is Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Listen, if you weren't that excited to see this film, I think you should definitely see this film. And I tell you, bring your kids out, man. Put them on the original and watch this one, because fair to say, this one's a little more family friendly than the first one, because there was an F-bomb in the first one. They play this one kind of safe, more safe for families in this one, but it's still very much Tim Burton. It's still very much a Beetlejuice movie, and I think everybody will enjoy the awkwardness and weird, because this film is so weird and so awkward, as though the first one, you know what I mean? And we didn't question it back then because we were younger. Now we're adults, so we may try to rationalize things more, and that doesn't make sense. But you know what? That's Tim Burton's style. If you don't know that, then Beetlejuice is not for you. Very imaginative, very fun, very weird, very awkward, and very, very Beetlejuice. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got to say. Let me know, are you excited to see this movie? When are you going to see this movie? Do you already have your tickets? You should, because it's pretty much sold out everywhere from what I'm hearing. Like, comment, share. Make sure you subscribe. And for more movie news, television news, and pop culture, check out wearecritics.com. And I will talk to you all later. Peace.